I'm back. So, I just finished watching the Snyder Cut for Justice League, and it's really good. It's really good. So, let's get into it. Let me give you my, I think it's mostly spoiler-free review. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so I literally just finished watching it. Well, maybe not exactly 100% literally, maybe like an hour ago because I needed to set up stuff. And Danny, thank you for joining me in the chat. Yes, I forgot I was wearing the glasses. I used it because I have too many screens here, and so it's blue light is bad for your eyes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about, well, before we talk about the movie, because I have a lot I want to say, but before I get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World at 8ish. Today I'm closer to 8 o'clock, so I'm getting better. Hopefully I'm getting a little bit better. And Tuesdays I do Otaku Tuesdays with my kid brother Eric, where we talk anime. Next Tuesday we're going to be talking about my teen romantic comedy Snafu. Teen romantic drama? I don't know, but that's what we're going to talk about. And Saturday we're going to do a gaming stream at noon. So there you go. If you want to join me live, the rest of the days, they're wild cards. So I may or may not load something and it'll be pre-recorded probably. Anyway, so let's get into this because I have a lot I want to say. So first off, let's talk a little bit about what the hell the Zack Snyder Justice League. So because apparently not everybody knows the story. So I was talking with my sister because my sister joined me when I was watching the movie, and she was like, "Oh, so this is like a sequel to the Justice League that came out a few years ago? Is it the same movie? Because I saw the trailer and don't understand what's happening." Well, for those of you who don't know, let's just clarify this real quick. Yes, it is the same movie, and no, it's not the same movie. So back in 2017, when the Justice League was coming, well, I guess it was 2016 when Justice League was being made. Director Zack Snyder, he had most of the movie done already. However, a tragedy happened in his family. His daughter died, or I guess there's a tragedy in his family, and he lost his daughter, and so he decided, you know what, I don't care about movies anymore. Like, I'm gonna go and spend time with my family, which is totally understandable and honestly the right thing to do. And so he told DC, and he told Warner Brothers, like, hey, somebody else finish this. I'm out. And so he left the project, and they picked up director Josh Whedon, who you may know him from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you may know him from directing the first Avengers movie. And he finished out the movie, and the movie was a total mess. How big of a mess was the movie? Well, pretty much everybody hated it. Even the people who were in the movie, like Henry Cavill was pissed, Ben Affleck was pissed, all the fans were pissed. The movie was a mess. I've always explained it like you could tell that the movie had two different daddies. Like, it's a movie with two daddies, and they don't really mesh well together. Zack Snyder he's a darker guy. Josh Whedon's more of a light comedy dude. So it's just, it didn't mesh well. It didn't feel right. Nobody really liked it. And so that kind of started the beginning of the end, or I could just say, yeah, marked the beginning of the end of what was the Snyder era of the DC Cinematic Universe. The movie had a lot of flaws. And I mean a lot of flaws. Now, a few years afterwards, we heard that apparently Zack Snyder had most of the movie ready, and everybody wanted to see his vision, because a few years ago, Zack Snyder directed a movie called Batman v Superman, which I've defended to death. The original cut, the theater release sucks, but the director's cut, the extended version, the rated R version, is really good, and I'll keep defending it. I don't care what anybody says. Watch the rated R version; it's extremely better. It's a different movie, and so I've always recommended it, and I've liked his work. I'm a fan of his art style. I like how visually he has a unique style. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I like his style a lot. I like 300. I like Watchmen. I like Man of Steel. I like Batman v Superman. And I wanted to see what this movie was about, and a lot of people wanted to see this. Once we heard that, hey, there's this actually like a Zack Snyder, like a Snyder cut, we want to see that. We want to see what his original vision was, because this vision that we got is a total mess. So, right off the top, Do I recommend this movie? Yes, definitely. It's 100 times better than what we got in 2017, and I mean a hundred times better. This one actually is consistent. It makes sense. It was made with a lot of heart. You could tell it has a lot of heart in it, and it has a plan for the future. And so it's 100 times better. It's 4 hours long. I could not recommend it more. It's cut into like parts. So at first it wasn't sure if it's going to be a mini series or if it's going to be a feature long film, and they said it was going to be a mini series, but then they decided like a 4-part mini series, and then they decided no, we're going to make it like an epic movie. I'm torn because you could tell it was cut like a mini series, and by that I mean you can watch every part and you'd be fine. But I'm a fan of the build up. So if you're sitting there for 4 hours, you're building up to something, and the movie's slow. It's got a very slow burn, and I enjoy that. It's got a lot of action in it, but it's a slow burn. It's building up to something, and I personally enjoy that. If you can tell what they're building up to, because it's exciting for me. If you're not into that, then watch it separately and you'll be fine. But I'm a marathon man. I sat there for the whole 4 hours. Every once in a while, I paused because I needed to explain stuff to my sister. She's like, "Who's that? What's happening? I don't understand this. Who the hell is it?" And so I had to pause it and explain it, which is fine. It actually helped me remember some stuff. And so, overall, do I recommend the movie? Yes. Is it worth 4 hours of your life? Definitely, definitely, 100%. I want to watch it again. Like, I want to go back and watch Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and the Snyder Cut once again, because that's how good. I believe that all of them together, it'll be like a good special cinematic experience, and that I really want to enjoy again. Again, I'm a fan. I've liked his work, and I continue to like his work. And the story outside of the movie is fantastic. Like for example, the producer of the movie is Christopher Nolan, director Christopher Nolan. He directed the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale. He produced the films, and his wife is also one of the producers. And after they saw the original, the 2017 version of the movie, they said that their objective in life was to make sure that Zack Snyder never saw the Joss Whedon cut of the movie, because they butchered they didn't want him to be, like Vito Corleone, the Godfather. They butchered my boy, so that they wanted to save him from that at all costs. But this is just wow. So I guess we can go a little bit by a little bit to see how what changes there were. I'm not gonna go into spoilers. I'm not gonna go into too specific details. Hopefully, I may not be able to contain myself. But first off, let's see what the audience thinks of the movie. So, well, here's the most important thing. And actually, I'm gonna. All right, there's a lot of speculation of what's gonna happen now, because according to Joss Whedon, it was I'm sorry, according to Zack Snyder, it was supposed to be a trilogy, so a trilogy of Justice League movies, and there was a big plan, and it was going somewhere. And if you watch this movie, you can see there is a plan. They're building for the future. It was setting up for something, and what it's setting up for looks phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal. So it's got everybody excited, because everybody's like, "Oh, we want to continue. Yes, more of this. This was great. Give us more." The audiences have loved it so far. Let me just show you here the. All right, so first off, Rotten Tomatoes. So the tomato meter says 73%. I'm sorry, which is the critics. I don't know. I don't care about the critics. The audience says 96%. So audience believe. I don't know. Let me put this a little bit bigger here for you. So the audience score is 96%, which is, I think, phenomenal for a DC movie, which everybody always seems to hate. And I think the original one was like at 30s, so it sucked. However, I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes that much. I am an IMDb guy, because I believe IMDb is a little bit more objective in the way it measures movies. And the IMDb score is 8.3. So 8.3 out of 10, which is solid for a superhero movie. It's solid for any movie. Honestly, any movie over 7 in IMDb is a respectable score. So 8.3 is a really good score. So I trust them a little bit more. If ratings mean anything to you, there you go. Now, like I said, what are we talking about the future? And so what does this mean for the franchise? What does it mean for the Justice League? What does it mean for everything? Like I said, DC has said in a statement, I believe I have the article up here. Let me just find it real quick, because it's ridiculous. So this is Warner Media Studio CEO Ann Sarnoff has confirmed that the Snyderverse will not be restored into the main line of the DC extended universe. He says many. Okay, we thank Snyder for his many contributions to DC. But this film marks the completion of his trilogy, meaning Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. So there's not going to be a Justice League trilogy. Like that's his trilogy, and we're looking forward to the exciting plans that we have for all the multi-dimensional DC characters that are being developed right now. So what are all those multi-dimensional characters? Well, like I said, they're doing I talked about this recently. They're doing a Superman reboot. Why? I don't fucking know. This is stupid. It's stupid. Superman did not need a reboot, especially after watching this. After watching this, you're like, why are you rebooting anything? Just keep going with this. The direction was good. I mean, a tragedy happened right in the middle, but you can course correct right now. It's a good direction. Keep at it. So they say they want to make a Blue Beetle movie. Who gives a fuck? We got Aquaman 2, which is coming, which is fine. Aquaman 1 was cheesy and everybody liked it. They're making a new Wonder Woman movie. Who honestly, the second movie sucked so bad. I don't know why they're rushing for the third one. It sucked. It sucked balls. Honestly, they need to change the director immediately. They're making the Flash movie, which confuses me more every single day, and I think that's what they're gonna do to mix everything up there, and who knows what's happening. They're making Black Adam, which I don't know how it's gonna affect anything here. They're making Shazam 2, which I'm actually looking forward to because I really enjoyed the first Shazam. They're making what else? They're making the Batman with Robert Pattinson, which who knows? So the whole thing is a mess. But you got the perfect solution right here. You just showed it to us. You gave us a pretty good vision of what you were going for, and it was good. Just keep at it. Honestly, just keep at it. And here's my speculation here. Honestly, this is the most important thing. I don't care what anybody says. That's it. We're done. We're out of here. This is the most important thing or headline you're going to see today or maybe ever. And that's Snyder Cut draws 1.8 million household in first 5 minutes of release. Let me say that again. Snyder Cut draws 1.8 million households in the first 5 minutes of its release. 1.8 million. I'm not sure that I did not know that HBO Max had that many subscribers. And for those of you who are wondering, like, oh, well, maybe it's not that many subscribers. No, yeah, it says household specifically. So that means that every single person, well, that's basically 1.8 million accounts on HBO Max, thanks to this. And it just, more people keep watching it just because that movie came out in midnight. So this is first 5 minutes of it being released. The movie still is up. It's been up there for a week. I don't even know what the results are right now. But it's a crazy amount of numbers. Like, and so I do not see like a big company like Warner Brothers being like, oh no, I don't like money. No, screw that. Money talks. All right. And if first off, the fans love it. And it's given a lot of redemption to, first off, Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill, who else? Warner Brothers. They gave a redemption to the Joker, to what's his name? Jared Leto. Everybody is loving it. And so why would they not continue with this? Would they be like, you know what, that thing that we're doing that's working? Fuck it. The only thing that makes me doubt that they're going to continue with the movie or with this particular storyline, it's that it's in fact DC, and DC finds a way to fuck things up. And I don't know why. It's their superpower, but they found newer, more creative ways and of fucking up every single time. And it's brutal to watch. As a fan, as a DC guy, it's brutal to watch sometimes. So that's all the backstory. That's all the things in the background. Let's get into the movie proper. And I think that the best way to go into this is how they changed things for the characters. So overall, they added way more stuff. I mean, it's more than an hour of film. It's rated R, so it's a lot more gory. The action scenes are way better, and they gave a lot more context to how things work. So, for example, when the villain Steppenwolf, in the first movie, it looks like he just shows up places. Here, they added a few scenes where it's like, okay, this is how he finds out where he has to go next. This is where he gets the information. And actually, speaking of Steppenwolf, let's start with him. So, what they changed, first off, his complete appearance. Like, look at the difference between the left one and the right one. He looks so much better. So much better, so much scarier. And here, they actually made him a character. In the first movie, well, in the original movie, they made him kind of like like a random villain that nobody really cares about, and it was just generic villain number one, right? But here, they actually gave him a little bit of like an interesting backstory. Well, not an interesting. Well, yeah, they give him an interesting backstory. You actually feel for the guy. The dude just kind of wants to go home. He just wants to like please his overlord and be like, just let me go back home, please. Come on, what do I have to do? Stop punishing me. I'm sorry. And so I'm not gonna say you relate to the guy. I'm not gonna say you feel bad. You feel a little bit bad for him. Yeah, I felt a little bit bad for him. It's like, okay, now, I understand him a little bit better. Things make a little bit more sense. So they vastly improved him. They made him a lot more fun to watch. His armor looks way better. They added more. They made his fight scenes a little bit longer, which was more fun. And like I said, the last time he just kind of showed up places. Here it's all right, we're gathering information. We actually have a plan. We have an objective. This is what we have to do. Oh, this is how we're gonna. Oh, that's where that is. Okay, we're gonna go there. So they made him way more interesting. And I've said this 100 times. The movie is usually all about the villain. Any superhero movie, it's all about you have a bad villain. It's not gonna work out. And so, speaking of still the villains, we're gonna talk about like the overall threat in this world, and that's the one that they actually added here, and that's one of the big bads of DC, Darkseid. So Darkseid is technically the big bad of the movie, or like the big overwhelming threat. And if the Snyderverse continues, that's the direction that they would have gone, the Darkseid direction. And honestly, it looks great. It's all a build up to Darkseid, and it's fantastic. At least I really enjoyed it. I was a fan. I enjoyed every single thing that they did there, how they built it up, how Darkseid. To me, they could have made him a little bit scarier, a little bit darker. There's a mistake there when you show somebody getting their ass kicked in the first fight, but whatever. It's fine. Darkseid, they still have an opportunity to show him how kick-ass he can be. And so it's adding him to the mix makes it better, because it makes you feel like, oh, there's a plan here. There's something here. In the 2017 version, they kind of just alluded to him. Here, no, flat out, it's like, Darkseid, please come here. And so, again, it's their world building. They're building to something, and what they're building to looks interesting. It looks good. So that's them. Those are the antagonists. Let's say that's the antagonist of the overwhelming threat. Now let's move on to the protagonist of this movie, and the protagonist, I don't care what anybody says, is Batman. So Batman is the main character of this movie. Why do I say that? Because there's kind of two parallel stories. The story of the main villain, Steppenwolf, is he's collecting the mother boxes in order to basically destroy Earth or take over Earth. The story of Batman, basically the counterpart to him, or the main character, and the reason why I say the main character is that his plan is he's collecting superheroes to stop the bad guys. So it's a movie about two dudes collecting stuff, except the one is superpowered beings, the other one is superpowered tech that could destroy planets. So those are the two people who are playing the game of chess here. And it's interesting. I did not particularly love the way that they handled Batman in the original Justice League. And it's because they kind of made him a wimp. And I've talked about this many times. Batman is my favorite superhero. He's the man. Love him. Love the guy. And it's because he's the most relatable. I mean, he's a human. He's just a dude who's tries his best, and he's smarter than everybody else, and that's usually how he manages to win. In the Justice League movie, it's like Josh Whedon thought, you know what, Batman's just kind of going to be in the way, and they're just going to always kick his ass, and let's just get him out of there. And so Batman just got his ass kicked most of the movie. Here, Batman kind of understands that he's not on the level with everybody else. And so, in a way, he's trying to... all right, first off, this is a future Batman that's kind of not... it hurts me to say, but he's kind of like broken a little bit. He's a little bit more sadistic, a little bit... at the end of Batman v Superman, his faith in humanity is kind of restored because of Superman, but he's kind of like... he's darker. He's not as, let's say, strong of spirit as before. And so here he kind of knows his place, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna tell people what to do, and then I'm gonna be the jobber. I'm gonna be the jobber. I'm gonna get the heat out of their way. I'm gonna try to get all the little guys to stop, messing with the plan. I'm gonna be the distraction. And he knows his role, and he plays it. He does his best. He brings everybody together. He offers the tech. He offers all the stuff, and he makes the plan. And so but at the end he's like, I can't take a punch from Steppenwolf. I just can't. And so he kind of does all the stuff in the background that makes things work, but that is not as sexy. And it's understandable. Like I said, he's definitely out of his league, and it hurts me to watch. Like as a Batman fan, it hurts me to watch because recently I've been watching Justice League the animated series, and Batman is up there front and center. It just, I had to remind myself, this is not the same Batman. This is older Batman. This is Batman that should be retired. This is Frank Miller's Batman. And so, it hurts you to watch, but you can still see like him wanting to be there, but knowing that, I shouldn't be here. Like I can't do it what is needed to be done, so I need to get somebody else to do it for me. And that kind of is on par with Batman's persona. I've talked about this a lot. Actually, no. I've talked about this when a few years back on the show we did something called the superhero draft, and everybody made fun of me on the air because for the leader of my team, my first overall draft pick, well, my first draft pick was Batman, and they were like, "Why would you pick Batman? He's just a normal dude." I'm like, "You don't get it. Batman is the best strategist out there, and you got 3 picks. I picked Batman, the Scarlet Witch, and Vision, which it's ironically they hadn't mentioned that WandaVision wasn't a thing yet, but I knew that those two. Well, my logic here was Wanda uses magic, and so magic counters Superman, and you got the best strategist out there. Also, Wanda is an Omega level mutant, and Vision made out of vibranium, super high tech. He can hack anything. He can go toe to toe and beat people up. And so and he's got an Infinity Stone in his forehead. So I figured that's an OP team. And the thing that nobody really understood was, you don't get it. Batman, his weapons are, well, the most important thing that he has are, well, first off is that he has himself a weapon, but his weapons are his teammates. Like the Justice League is Batman's weapons. So Superman is his right arm, and he uses him as a weapon. Wonder Woman left arm uses her as a weapon. His head might be Martian Manhunter, uses it to get into other people's minds. That is, those are his weapons, and he uses them very, very smartly. Here, they're not on that level yet, but you still see him being like, yeah, well, I'm gonna use you. He's still using people. He's just not using them as from the front line like the Batman that we used to. But still, fun to watch. His story does change a little bit. And I believe this is a good time to talk about, let's see if I have a vision of, nope, no. Well, the Joker, obviously, is very important here. There's a scene at the end, and I believe is this specific scene, beautifully shot, by the way. There's a beautifully shot scene with the Joker and Batman at the end, which again hints at the potential future that Zack Snyder had planned for this particular franchise. And you see the biggest, well, first off, I'll get the Joker out of the way. Complete and total redemption for Jared Leto, and the reason why he redeemed himself is because he did less of a Suicide Squad Joker and more of the Heath Ledger Joker. Like, way closer to that, which is great. Is it original? No, but who the fuck cares? It's a better performance, so good on Jared Leto. I won't make as much fun of you anymore for your performance in Suicide Squad, because we can see that maybe in the cutting room floor you got, used and abused. But it's okay. It was like this enough was good enough to redeem you for now. Here in the movie, it's weird. So let's get him out of the way. Batman, his story, his motivation, usually he's more reason based, and the way that he attacks things is more logical. Here in this movie, it's more faith based, which again, older dude throwing a Hail Mary. And so he's doing more things out of faith. And in part, it makes sense because Superman returned his faith in humanity, in himself, in other people. And so in working as a team. So it's an interesting thing. You actually get to see the change in Batman. And it's a nice change. Honestly, the Batman from the Justice League 2017 and this Batman, completely different dudes. And this one's way more likable and makes more sense. It's really weird. In the first Justice League, the 2017 one, they were always kind of at each other's necks. That's the thing that's not here. There's a little antagonism from time to time, but they're not in each other's necks. I remember that there's even a scene where Wonder Woman punches Batman. Here, they cut that out. it's there's no real tension because everybody's like, yeah, there's kind of like a big massive alien dude that keeps kicking our ass, and he's here to destroy the earth. Let's kind of like get our shit together. So there's not that much bickering, which I enjoyed, and it makes all the characters more enjoyable to watch. They're more likable because they're not at each other's throats. They're actually trying to solve problems. Sometimes they have issues, like Aquaman, kind of a skeptical dude, and it makes sense. And but you don't hate him for it. It's like, hey, that's a reasonable question. Why should we trust you? Yeah, who the fuck are you? Why should I listen to you? But at the end of the day, he's still there. He does his job. So I like that. Like I said, less conflictive, and more about him. Batman. They also get a little bit into the relationship with Wonder Woman. I've talked about this a lot. Wonder Woman and Batman make perfect sense. Like I just said it. I was rewatching the Justice League animated series. They hint at a relationship. Well, they more than hint at a relationship between Wonder Woman and Batman, and they make perfect sense. And this movie, they make even more sense than before. But weirdly enough, they cut out a scene between the two of them. There's a scene in the 2017 Justice League that is probably my favorite scene. Well, not my favorite scene, but there's a scene that they cut out where, to me, to me it was a wasted opportunity, and I mean a massively wasted opportunity. Like I said, there was a moment where Wonder Woman punches Batman like in the stomach, right? A few scenes later, Batman is taking off his bat suit, and he's like all bruised up on the side. Wonder Woman sees this, and she goes up to him and kind of help him out. And that's when she realizes, like, holy shit, this dude's crazy. He's a mad lad. This dude's human, and he's out there and he's getting his ass kicked, and he can't take a punch like I can. And holy shit. And to me, what I always thought that it was a wasted opportunity, because they could have put that, instead of putting that bruise to the side, or keep that bruise to the side, it's fine. They could have kept the bruise exactly where she punched them, because she punched them like good. And so it's like, dude, that's a perfect opportunity, and you wasted it. It's a moment where she could have been like, oh shit, I did that, and me, a goddess, punched a normal dude who's crazy. But and so to me, it was a wasted moment. They cut out that scene, which sucks, but whatever. What can you do? And like I said, they get along better. Their chemistry's up. There's a lot of like sexual tension there, and it's fun because Batman and Wonder Woman make sense. Like I said, watch Justice League animated series. Read there's a bunch of comics. There's interesting hints of a potential relationship there. I should make a list one day. Paradise Lost, maybe. No, that's not the best one. I'll think about which one, because I own a few. Anyway, so there's hints of it, and it makes like I said, it makes everybody more likable. When you're not at each other's throats, everybody immediately becomes more likable. So they didn't really add much to Diana. They just took away the hostility stuff, which was good, and they added more interactions where her and Bruce get along, which again to me makes perfect sense. Next, Superman. They changed the suit, and they took away their first off, he's not there for like 3/4 of the movie, which is 3 hours. 3 hours with no Superman, which is way better, because if you remember in the 2017 version, he's there like almost an hour in. So it's like maybe half the movie and then he's back. And like, all right, yeah, Superman's back. Here, 3/4 of the movie and it's still no Superman. So you actually feel his loss more. You actually feel like the big, massive, gaping Superman hole missing from the movie, from this particular group. And when he comes back, he's not the same dude. Again, they keep hinting at the plans of the future of how you kind of reap what you sow. There's consequences to bringing a god back, and that looked fun. He's wearing the black suit. When he comes in, he kicks ass and takes name, and you're like, oh shit, that was epic. But it's let's say he's a bit more brutal than usual, and because again, different dude, and they took away the girlfriend scene from Lois Lane. Now, well, actually, there's a lot more Lois Lane. There's I don't remember if the original one they hint that she's pregnant, but here they hint that she might be pregnant. There's a conversation that she has. They completely redo a conversation with Diane Lane, which I thought, with Martha Kent, which I thought was really good. And what was I? Oh yeah, and they took away the girlfriend scene. Now, for those of you who don't know what the girlfriend scene is, it's something, I don't know if I coined it, but I'm gonna say that I coined it. It's a term of, most dudes know this, and it's when a girl just makes you, a girl who's close to you makes you go. It could be any, it could be your girlfriend, it could be like a mom or a sister, and they just make you go like, ugh, like that. I'm sure there's an equivalent for dudes that's, then you can call it the boyfriend scene, when they just say something and every single girl goes like, ugh. So to give you an example of how, and it doesn't even have to be a girlfriend. In Game of Thrones, there's a scene right before the Battle of the Bastards where Jon Snow and his generals, they're trying to make a plan for the battle, and all the plan's stupid, but Sansa's in there too, and at the end everybody leaves, but Sansa stays behind. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Sansa is Jon's half sister, or at least they think they are at that point. Anyway, so after everybody leaves, Sansa's like, no, why don't you ask me for help? I can help. I know Ramsay. I know what's happening. I know how he thinks. I can help you. And Jon's like, no, that's not how this works. This is like a war thing. We actually need like generals and stuff. Like, no, 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 I can help you. Why don't you ask me? I can help. I know we can do this. Like, just ask me for help. I can help you. And Jon's like, fine. What should we do? And Sansa's like, I don't know. I don't know. And Jon Snow and every single guy out there that sees this just goes like, ugh, been there, bro. Been there. And so Lois Lane in the 2017 version has her own little girlfriend scene, and I'll tell you exactly which one it is. Which they cut for the Snyder cut, which is great that they did. It's the scene where Superman is out in the fields, like he's back from the dead, and he's out in the fields, and he's kind of just like enjoying sunlight, life, the farm. And Lois Lane comes out, and she asks him like, "Hey, well, they have a mini conversation, and then she asks like, "Hey, what's death like?" And Superman starts thinking about it, and as he's trying to formulate an answer, which is, first off, a fantastic question. I mean, fantastic, fantastic question. And we're waiting for a super interesting answer because this dude was just dead. So hearing what death is from a guy who just came back from the dead, it's a fascinating thing. And as he's trying to formulate or find the right words, Lois Lane starts crying. She's going like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't strong enough. So basically she asks a super interesting question, and then she starts going like, but what about me? What about how I feel? What about me? And everybody's like, oh, God, Jesus Christ. Let him answer the fucking question, which he never does. Anyway, so that's the girlfriend moment, and they cut out that scene, which is great. But like I said, overall, Superman thing handled way better, and it just pisses you off that they're getting rid of Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is so good as Superman, so good. There's the scene where he gets the suit. It's an editing job where they're basically just, they're getting, well, they use clips from the Man of Steel with the voice of Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner, and basically giving the inspiring speech of like, what's the speech of, they will stumble, they will fall, but they give them a chance and they'll follow you into the light. So it reminds you like what Superman was there for to inspire hope, to inspire people, to be the light to you follow. And it actually gets to you because he's back, it's like Superman's back, and you feel it. You feel that hope, the hope. And so it was great. Superman stuff handled beautifully. Next, we have the Flash, and here the Flash actually uses his powers in an important way. In the Josh Whedon movie, I don't know why they really didn't use the Flash. Well, they used him kind of to like get people out of the way, but they didn't really go into his powers. Here, Flash is a big and very important part of the movie. He actually has to access God level tier powers to make things work. They show you just how important he is, how powerful he can be, and he's a critical part of the story that they just cut out. They just made him like push around. I think he was pushing around a car with people in the first one, which makes no sense. It honestly, it made no sense. So they use the Flash way more. More Flash, always better. They're setting up stuff maybe for his movie and the consequences of him maybe going to the Time Force, through the Time Force a bit too hard. But we don't know that yet exactly. But we'll see. Again, they were setting up stuff for the future. It made sense. It looked good. It looked sexy. They actually used them. They actually used his powers. They showed that they hinted of consequences and stuff like that. So all good stuff, which is what they're apparently going to throw out the window. Next, we have Aquaman. Aquaman, I didn't think they changed much for a story. I think he stayed pretty much the same. Just a little bit more scenes. Like I said, not as hostile. Not at everybody's neck. Here, it's like, well, I don't agree with this, but fine. So he's a little bit more amicable. The interaction's a little bit better. He's still like a cool surfer dude, and so it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, no major changes here. Just a little bit more backstory, maybe a little bit. And finally, we have a Cyborg. Now, Cyborg, they added a lot more backstory to him, and it's kind of important backstory, like really important stuff that they just completely left out from the first one. You're like, why the fuck would you cut all this out? First off, it's interesting. Second, it was kind of important for the plot for both him and the Flash. Like, they were critical parts of the movie, and at least in the Snyder cut, they were just completely cut out. It makes no fucking sense. It honestly, it makes no sense why they would cut it out. So good for them, to put all that stuff back in the cutting room floor, because it makes, first off, you care more about the characters, you care more about their families. There's more consequences. Like the whole storyline for Cyborg in this movie, there's an argument that he could be the main character here. I still say it's Batman, but there's an arc for Cyborg storyline that's really good. There's a price you pay. There's the consequences. There's the sacrifice. There's like remorse. There's a whole bunch. It's a complete roller coaster of a storyline, and he's a cyborg, so his emotions aren't really his thing. So and you still feel it. So it was really well handled. It was really good. I have no idea why they would cut it out. It's the same as the Flash. Why wouldn't you use his powers? So good on that. And well, let me see what else I have here, because I don't even remember. Oh yeah, they also introduced Martian Manhunter. There's a couple scenes where Martian Manhunter shows up, and you're like, hey, how about if you do something fucking useful, guy? But they're hinting at stuff for the future. The whole movie is hinting for stuff for the future. So why the fuck would you stop it? The train is rolling. People like it. It's making you money. It was successful. Right now, you know how hype everybody would be if they just said, you know what, Justice League 2, Zack Snyder, coming 2024. Everybody would lose their minds. And you know what you would do? You'd make a buttload of money. So DC, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously. I've not talked to a single person who hasn't liked this. The biggest complaint that I've heard is that, it's maybe a bit too long, but I liked it. I like the direction that it's going. Is it the best superhero movie out there? No, it's not. But it's really good. It's really good. I believe it's on the upper end. It's got enough action. It's got enough heart. It's funny. It has good comedic moments that doesn't take you out of it completely. It shows you a different side to every single one of the characters. It is beautifully shot if you like that style. Like Zack Snyder's, he actually makes when he makes a movie from a graphic novel, he actually makes you feel like you're in a graphic novel, which is beautiful. Like 300 was beautifully shot. Watchmen was beautifully shot, and I thought that this was beautifully shot. There's a scene where just Batman is just standing on top of a building and we're looking down at Commissioner Gordon, and it's just a beautiful shot. Did you need to have it in there? No, but it's fun because it looks good. So it's a little bit slow. There's a lot of slow motion. If you're not into a particular style, I can understand you wouldn't get it, but overall, it is a fantastic work of filmmaking. If you're a Snyder fan, I am a Snyder fan. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the redemption. I think they should keep going, man. It's working. It's working. What Zack Snyder was doing was working. Just keep at it. Just keep at it. DC, get out of your own fucking way. Get Henry Cavill back. Get Zack Snyder back. Get Ben Affleck back. And be like, hey, you know what, guys? How about if we go and make money? What we're doing, people liked it. Let's just keep going at it. Just get out of your own fucking way. Jesus Christ. It was working out. Anyway, I believe that's it for today. I believe that's enough on that. Overall, I recommend the movie. Like, I highly recommend the movie. I highly enjoyed it. It was worth my 4 hours. Like I said, I'm going to watch Man of Steel again. I'm going to watch Batman v Superman again. And I'm going to watch this one again. Because I want to see the whole thing from beginning to end. And, just feel it. Feel it. See how it works, how it meshes well together. But first reaction, just watch. Like I said, I watched it like an hour before I started recording this. I really liked it. I loved it. It was great. Really enjoyed it. 100 times better than the original. Definitely worth your 4 hours. So that's it. That's it for that. So honestly, that's the most important thing. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Fridays, Mondays, and every other day of the week are wildcards. But this Saturday, remember, Saturday at noon at Super Dario World, only on Twitch. Only on Twitch, I will be streaming. So with my kid brother, we're going to play a Pokemon game randomizer. I'm still not exactly sure how it's going to work, but basically we're going to be playing Pokemon and drinking beer. So if you want to join us, there you go. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.